Hi, I'm David Graves, and welcome to Killscreen. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing kind of an older PlayStation 3 game, but if you're like me and you can't afford a $60 game as soon as it comes out and you want to wait for a while, then this review is for you. What I'm going to be reviewing is Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and this is for the PlayStation 3. Okay, at first glance, I thought this was a lot like Tomb Raider, and when you start playing it, it does seem like Tomb Raider. And the first level or two, you're like, oh, this is just another Tomb Raider ripoff, as you're jumping from ledge to ledge, and you got to figure out puzzles to get out of the level. But once those levels are over, and you actually start getting into the game itself, you realize that this game is a lot of fun, and it kind of becomes its own game. Yeah, you know, you can compare it to Tomb Raider, of course, because of all the jumping from ledge to ledge, but I would say it's a little bit more like Prince of Persia, because that's what it reminded me of. The jumping in this game is absolutely superb. I've never had a problem with catching on a ledge or, you know, jumping to another ledge. You know, some other games, it seems like it's kind of like clunky, the jumping physics, but here it's absolutely perfect, and it really kind of made the game a lot of fun by doing that. So the story here is you play a guy named Nathan Drake, and it's a pretty simple, straightforward story. He's looking for Drake's treasure, and he has like a diary that he's using through the whole thing, very much Indiana Jones like, and you know, he's going from place to place keep looking for this treasure, and it's a pretty decent story actually. It keeps you interested through the whole game, and I found myself coming back every night and wanting to find out what happens, and really, you know, that's the best part of playing a game, is keeping you interested, and I was never bored. The cutscenes are absolutely incredible, and they're not really too long to be annoying. They're always really entertaining because this has some great voice acting. The voice acting in this game is absolutely fantastic.
The temple must have been built around this.
Around what?
A statue. Gold statue.
A huge gold statue. And look here, these people, they're worshipping the damn thing. At least, I think they're people.
Of course. El Dorado, the Golden Man. Sully, it wasn't a city of gold. It was this. It was a golden idol.
Man, can you imagine what that thing would be worth now?
Look over here. Tracks. I bet the Spanish dragged it out on cut logs. We're 400 years late for this party.
So the trail's cold.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Son of a bitch.
Unless
Unless what?
we follow the tracks.
It's just basically like you're watching a movie. The animation is so realistic, some of the most realistic character models I've seen in a game, and the way these characters play off of each other is just great to watch. It's a lot of fun, and all the characters in this game are really interesting characters. There's nobody in here that's just kind of boring or, you know, like whatever. You really want to know what happens to these characters, and you really want to find out, you know, how this game is going to end. There's a lot of shooting in the game as well, but fortunately all the shooting is actually pretty fun, and you don't get any sort of, like, you know, space age weapons here. You basically just have the regular shotgun, machine gun, pistol, that kind of thing, which, you know, really works for the game because it makes it feel more realistic. Now, I was mentioning how this game was a lot like Tomb Raider, but actually only in the jumping is it like Tomb Raider. Story-wise, I would say it's more like, I wouldn't say Indiana Jones, but it's more like Romancing the Stone. kind of reminded me a little bit more of that than it did Indiana Jones. If you have, the high definition television, you're in for an absolute treat for this game because it's incredible looking. It really is incredible. One thing I loved about the Nate character is that he gets dirty, and his whole white shirt's all filthy, and it looks very realistic the way they're animating this character, and the water effects in this game are unbelievable. I mean, when he jumps in the water, he gets out and he's actually dripping, soaking wet, and the effect on that is just really, really nice the way they did it. If I have any one big complaint about this game, it would be that it's very linear. It makes you go down a certain path, and there's no other path you can take except for the single path it wants you to go through. And I mean, some games can pull that off pretty well, like God of War, but this one seemed like it was almost forced on you, like, okay, this is where you have to go, and this is what you have to do. So that was one of my big complaints about this game, is that they should have had a little bit more leeway with what you could do or how you could get to several places, maybe different ways or different paths you could take or something like that. But it was very straightforward, and this is where you got to go and how you got to get there. The game itself will last you around 10 to 11 hours depending on how many of the hidden treasures in the game you want to try to search for. One other thing I should mention about this game is the load time from when you die and come back are almost non-existent. So great load times here. So in all, this is a real fun game. Now, I wouldn't say it was worth going out and buying it for $60, but I just found it for $40, and right now that's about as cheap as you're going to get it. You might find it a little cheaper off eBay, maybe in a $25, $30 range, but by the time you pay for shipping and everything, it'll end up being $40 anyway. So it's absolutely worth the $40. If you've never played Drake's Fortune and you own a PlayStation 3, yes, absolutely, it's worth going out and getting, and I think you have a great time playing the game. I had a fantastic time, but once the game's over, it's over. I mean, there's no multiplayer, there's no nothing really. You can unlock some extras like the video gallery. You can look through, which I did look through it, and it's okay. I mean, it shows some of the drawings from like the early pictures of Nathan Drake and things like that. But other than that, I mean, there's really no reason to go back and replay the game. And so on our Invaders scale, 1 through 5, I will give Drake's Fortune a 4 out of 5. So I hope you liked tonight's review of Killzone,